Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is our Rise News analyst, Emmanuel Great Malabite Efeni.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Kai.
Always a delight to see you.
Yes.
I think I will pursue a degree in the University of Calabar just so that I can be part of
In
Malabrites.
In my case, maybe I'll go for a certificate course.
Now we start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story, after foiling a brazen electoral coup, INEC declares Fintiri re-elected. IGP replaces Adamawa. CP moves to probe malfeasance. INEC writes police demands prosecution of Ari others. How court declined Benani's emergency application. PDP. What happened was akin to attempted civilian coup. Yaga wants all security personnel involved in electoral fraud tried. Situation Room pushes for fresh electoral reforms. Atiku, governors, party leadership congratulate winner. Yes, at last, the result of the Adamawa governorship election concluded, announced, and the winner, of course, the incumbent governor, Amadu Fintiri. There was no result that was upturned. What was pronounced the previous day was a no result. Now that we have the result, thankfully, Adamawa is calm. Otherwise, what was unfolding could have caused real chaos that could have even spread beyond Adamawa and cause another political instability in the country. But this is done and dusted. But the actors in this malfeasance must be made to face the full weight of the law. And the process is on. INEC has written to the police to do the needful, and also written to the presidency to also do the needful in terms of removing that official from his position. And we hope before long the police will take the appropriate action. We'll see Udu Ari in court to face the consequences of his actions. Now, the Guardian newspaper also reporting this story. Fintiri, last, reckless wreck faces prosecution. Court, another story there. Court voids Oluomo's parks and garages, revalidates RTEAN, Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria. Yes, the court ruled. Recall that MC Oluomo, as he's popularly called, well known in Lagos space, yes, was the chairman of the National Union of Road Transport Workers. And he had problems with his union. And the Lagos state government came to his rescue with a law. And creating these garages, parks and garages. And he was made the chairman, effectively usurping the functions of the union. But now the court in Lagos has voided that piece of legislation. And of course, with it, the position of Oluomo as the chairman of that. We hope there will be peace in Lagos. We don't want to see Agberos and some people fighting on the streets. Everybody should fall in line, obey the law, and let the union do what they've been doing, because the unions are set up by extant laws. People are free to unionize, and that's what they've been doing all this while. It doesn't matter who is the chairman of the Road Transport Workers or Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria. They are recognized bodies within the ambit of the law. Now, the Vanguard newspaper, Adamawa crisis, at last INEC declares Fintiri winner. Now, the story below the photograph. My family conspired against me, voted Peter Obi Umahi. There's the governor of Ebonyi State making that statement there. Yet his party won the governorship election. Well, we move on to other stories. Daily Trust. Fintiri wins Adamawa governorship. That's the lead story there. While the Punch newspaper also reporting the story. Adamawa governor Fintiri floors Benani. INEC takes Rex case to Buhari. Yes. And the figures there. Fintiri polls 430,861 votes to defeat APC candidate and 13 others. Now, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, the lead story, INEC 6 probe persecution of Adama Rek writes IGP SGF. Now, above the masthead, court voids Ararume's sack as NNPCL non-executive chairman, awards 5 billion damages against federal government. Lawyers, experts raise concern on NNPCL's stability. Yes, because that judgment states that every decision taken by the board of the NNPCL since the removal of Ararume as chairman remains voided. So that in itself will create a lot of problems. But the law is what it is. Unless somebody is appealing that judgment, Ararume has to be reinstated as the chairman of the NNPCL board. And of course, that huge award, 5 billion naira as compensation for damages. I don't know how, but that's the verdict of the court. Now, if we just look at the New Telegraph newspaper, after long-drawn battle, long-drawn drama, Fintiri PDP triumphs in Adamawa. Now, below the photograph, National Assembly, Red Chamber now nest for ex-governors, Tambuwal, Bello, Umahi, 11 ex-state chief executives warm up for 10th Senate. May 29, Gbajabiamila Faleke in Cold War over Chief of Staff, Speaker's position. Now, for the governors and former governors who are going to the National Assembly, the problem is not they are going to the National Assembly, but they should not use the National Assembly as a retirement home. If they are contributing, and you expect them to contribute given their experience over time in politics and in governance. But a situation where you hardly see many of them in plenary, or when they appear, you see them dozing off, is what is not acceptable and condemnable, as it were. So anybody can aspire to go to the Senate. If your people elect you, so be it. But these ex-governors must realize that the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is not a retirement home where you just go and sit down, contribute nothing, just so you have an address in Abuja. Now, the Daily Sun newspaper, aviation workers locked out of offices as unions lay siege to Lagos International Airport. The 2-day warning strike by aviation workers, I'm sure that ended yesterday. And the authorities, we hope they will deal with all the issues they have raised so that we don't have a situation of total strike like the unions are promising. And because if that were to happen, it will cause a lot of problems in the aviation sector. Of course, it will affect businesses and travelers and wherever they are going to do in their various locations. Now, if we just round off with the Nation newspaper, INEC, IG Hamarek, CP has court halls Benani. Fintiri is Adamawa governor-elect. Ruben Ayo and Mr. Akintemi.
Just to add to what we had said previously about the development in Adamawa State, I think what is more important in the final analysis will be what lessons are we learning from some of these developments, during the 2023 electoral process. And I think the Civil Society Situation Room has drawn attention to one of those lessons, to the effect that, look, we need more electoral reforms. And the Situation Room is recommending that we have to take a second look at the appointment of resident electoral commissioners and national commissioners of INEC to ensure that these are persons that do not have partisan affiliations and that they are truly independent and that they can discharge their responsibilities in a non-partisan manner. What we have seen in Adamawa is the kind of danger that, partisanship can cause. And of course, Situation Room is also recommending that these persons who have perpetrated the crisis in Adamawa should be prosecuted, including the Commissioner of Police in Adamawa. It's not enough to just transfer him from Adamawa. The IGP should make sure that the man is disciplined. And we have to go back to this old argument about the Electoral Offenders Commission, as recommended, for example, by the Waste Commission. So these are some of the fallouts. The job of electoral reform in Nigeria has not yet ended. Now, to the UK, I saw an interesting story, which says that if you take a soup and shake diet, you can have the reversal of type 2 diabetes. This is the product of a study in the UK. 800 calories a day for about 3 months or over time, can reverse type 2 diabetes. And that's an interesting development. But however, as doctors say, you don't start taking soup and shake diet if you have diabetes without doctors' recommendation. I think it could be a major breakthrough, with regard to the treatment of diabetes, as reported by the Times of London today.
Well, a number of things together, but just on the front page of this day newspaper, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, in their quarterly review, had talked about what's hurting the manufacturing sector. And I bring this up because we talked about this with Reuters during the Africa Business Update in terms of high interest rates, inflationary pressure, FX scarcity hurting, and they had some recommendations. Of course, they aligned with Professor Kingsley Moghalu in terms of do not increase tax rates, instead fix these other issues, and then we can discuss, how the manufacturing sector can benefit more from this.
Well, thank you very much, Emmanuel.